Welcome back, everyone, to the Jobber Circle Wrestling Podcast. It is the first official podcast of the new year that we're doing.
Yes, I just realized that too.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We had the Royal Rumble tonight. It was
Yes.
actually pretty exciting. I really enjoyed today's pay-per-view or special, what is it, premium live event.
Premium live event, yeah.
What you got going on over there?
Little furry mic.
A little furry mic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're rating the Royal Rumble. Of course, our rating system. If it's 1, it's a potato. If it's 2, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 3, it's this is awesome. It's 4. If it's a 4, it's elite, and if it's 5, it gets a brass ring. So I feel like there wasn't really that many matches, but overall it was a long pay-per-view. Mainly because of course, the Royal Rumbles, but it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. What do you think?
I think it was definitely worth it too. Definitely was looking forward to this, or have been looking forward to this for a while now. I'd say that WrestleMania you cannot count as your favorite, pay-per-view or premium live event of the whole year. So that's just like automatically like the top one. But if I were to rate, not rate, but I'm just trying to say Royal Rumble is like my favorite.
Right.
I guess under WrestleMania.
Your favorite premium live event pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it.
I keep saying pay-per-view.
I know, yeah. I mean, it's been like that for so long. But I would say my number 1 would be Money in the Bank, honestly. But Royal Rumble definitely number 2 because, like you said, WrestleMania is always going to be a bit huge attraction. So you can't really put it in the rank when it comes to favorite pay-per-view.
Right.
Of course, King of the Ring used to be my favorite pay-per-view. But they did away with it. Hopefully they're bringing it back. So we'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it actually started with the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble match, surprisingly. Yeah, and of course, we both said the same thing. We're like, okay, they have to give the main event to Roman, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Little foreshadowing. We didn't realize that would kind of be worth it. Of course, I really don't like when you do a main event that's not the Royal Rumble at the Royal Rumble. Like, that's the whole point. Whether it's the men's Royal Rumble or the women's Royal Rumble, it just put the Royal Rumble in the main event. The only time it really worked was in 2007 when The Undertaker won the Royal Rumble, and then Kurt Angle had a match with Mark Henry for the main event, and then Kurt Angle won. But the only reason why that worked is because literally The Undertaker came out and did his little lightning special effects and literally destroyed the ring.
Right.
So yeah, that worked then, and little did we know it was gonna work today too.
Yeah, and it really just depends on what they have planned for the end, because remember last year they ended with the Rumble, the men's Rumble at the end, but it was because Brock Lesnar lost earlier in the night and then entered as number 30 and then won the whole thing. So it all depends on how they plan to end it.
Yeah, and then with this men's Royal Rumble, there wasn't really too many surprises, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means that's just how stacked the roster is right now, or if it's more symbolizing like this is, as people were saying, this is if we're really going to find out if Triple H is really in charge of the creative decisions or Vince is, because based on how this Rumble was going to go. And I actually think that was kind of like a Triple H move to no, we don't need to rely on legends or any of that. We have a stacked roster. Let's showcase our roster. They clearly deserve a spot every year in the Rumble, but of course we're so prone to 10 surprise entrances.
Yeah. That's what you look forward to mainly, but I guess it only seems like there was only the one surprise.
Yeah, so. And that's what we were talking about, that if Logan Paul was a surprise, but no, I failed to realize when I was writing these notes that no, Logan Paul symbolizes the celebrity in the Royal Rumble, because there's always a celebrity in the Royal Rumble. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember Drew Carey was even in the Royal Rumble at one point. But I
was waiting for Bad Bunny.
Right? Oh yeah. See, we forgot about
He's
that.
a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, honestly. Put Bad Bunny and Logan Paul in a match. Just see how they do together, just in a match, in-ring psychology.
True.
See how it goes. But yeah, so the only main surprise in the Royal Rumble, I feel like surprises in the Royal Rumble is the commercials of Super Bowls.
Literally.
It's a little extra, wow, that's cool.
That's a good way to put it.
Booker T, but that was pretty cool. He came in, did his stuff, and
did his
was
little
eliminated.
spin. His little spinny spin.
Spin-a-rooney.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that was that. So yeah.
But that's probably a good thing that showcasing their actual roster.
Right.
But like I said, you do miss that. There was no RVD, no X-Pac. Maybe even thinking Randy Orton was going to come back in there, but
poor guy.
None of that.
No.
Yeah.
He's going to be out, I think, for a while.
And then no Rey Mysterio. I really don't understand. I thought maybe he was going to come out later and eliminate Dom, but
I don't know what they did there. I mean, obviously they made it seem like how, okay, so Rey was 17, Dom was 18. Dom comes out with his mask. So he's trying to like that was another awkward moment. It was him trying to rip the mask.
Oh god.
And it wouldn't rip. I was like, y'all should have like snipped it a little bit.
Right.
Started the cut, and then he could have probably torn it a lot easier, but he eventually just gave up, and I think he like threw it and somebody came to grab it. But
that was just awkward.
Yeah, it was really awkward. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I was waiting for him the whole time.
Yeah, and then do you want to talk about the Kofi Kingston flop? The second year in a row flop. I love you, Kofi, but man,
that's second year in a row.
It's
like,
sad to see.
It was already like in our head, probably. I know a majority of people's head. Yeah,
he got a little bit of oh god, why am I blanking on his name? The Dallas kicker. He got a little in his head like him.
I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, I'm blanking on it, but anyway. We don't need to know his name. He won't be on the team next year.
Literally, he's fired. Just kidding. No, so you had to have known, like, because Kofi Kingston always is known for those spots where, you know, he almost touches the ground, but he doesn't, and he pulls it off in this, like, spectacular way. But last year, he flopped it, and they tried to pull it off, didn't work. And then this year, obviously, it was the chair spot where Xavier Woods or somebody, I don't know who it was supposed to be, was not holding that rolling chair, and he just hit the chair and just rolled with it, and he was out of there. And I think the most I think the most cringiest part was when Michael Cole was trying to just be the good commentator that he is, trying to like pull it off, like, oh, you know, we gotta watch the replay on that, or what was the other part that he said?
He's like, both
of his feet did not touch the ground. I think it was just one.
Of his foot was just like hanging on the chair.
Yes, and then they just immediately, like within a matter of seconds,
and then never talked about it again.
Stopped and just moved on. We never heard or saw anything about Kofi again.
And I think that's the cringiest. My thing that I think is the cringiest is later on they showed a cricket commercial where Kofi was doing that, where he was like not touching the ground, and it's like they're like making it like that's his thing, that's his gimmick now.
Yes,
but it's like
he's got the you got work. The little the cricket animations throwing pancakes. Like, okay, y'all should have brought the pancakes,
right?
If that's the case,
they
not
did that
the
one year.
Not the rolling chair.
Oh God,
no.
I love you, Kofi.
They just need to stop. They need to stop with that. He's just he needs to stay on NXT.
Yeah, and then speaking of crazy, the Logan Paul Ricochet moment.
Whoa.
Where they basically like
the whole Alamo Dome heard that impact.
So, like sometimes wrestling is better than a superhero movie because you have real people doing superhero like things and nobody else cut to bring in their stuntman and there's no wires and stuff. They literally flew across the ring and pancaked, belly flopped into each other.
Exactly.
Like what that
was the slap heard around the world.
Yeah, that was the craziest moment of the match.
Thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just like it's something we never seen before. That's really.
Even Triple H said that on the press conference. Just right now, we're watching the press conference, and he literally says the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire
and the sound.
Yes, the sound that it made and everything.
That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely awesome.
Brock was in the match early, and I thought he was gonna make it to the end. There are a lot of people that I was saying that I thought would make it to the end, like Brock, Braun, of course Lashley, almost. Almost. I think it's almost.
I don't know. Almost.
But yeah, of course. So you had Lashley eliminate Brock, so that's probably
fairly quickly too. Brock came out and eliminated, kind of cleared out the ring a little bit, but then Bobby Lashley came in 90 seconds later and just whoop.
Yeah, so that's and then Brock was throwing a fit, so that's probably going to build up to that WrestleMania match.
Yeah, like I told you too, it was kind of hard to like tell. Like, was Brock supposed to get out of there? Because like I said, Montreal Screwjob has me overthinking everything.
Right? Yeah, he was throwing a fit, and I love that. The classic example of that little lines blurred.
Yes.
There. But and Gunther honestly did really good in this match.
Impressive for being number one.
Yeah, dude surprises me every week, and number one made it all the way to the end till the last one, till he was eliminated by Cody, of course, who won the Royal Rumble. Obviously, Cody is going towards Roman Reigns' path, for the title at Mania. But where do you think Gunther goes? Because
I really don't know. Gunther can really be put with anybody. I'd like to see like Gunther and Brock, but obviously right now, Brock and Bobby are having their thing. But
and that sucked when they had their little standoff. It somebody was coming out, so nobody really paid attention to them. They spent too long staring at each other and didn't. Yeah. But maybe later. But I don't know. Maybe going the route of like the Banger Bros or something. Maybe fight Sheamus or Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Who knows? Maybe the maybe the Usos break up or lose the titles before Mania,
Ooh.
and then that allows,
I don't know. Yeah,
because I feel like they're starting to stack up their teams now. Like there's more teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. We noticed that in the Royal Rumble.
Tag teams and factions.
Yeah, how many people were teaming up in both Rumbles.
Yeah, helping each other out.
But
being there for each other, yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, great Royal Rumble match, honestly.
Yeah. Definitely good.
What would you rate it?
I'm gonna rate it. Oh man, I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3?
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome.
I'm gonna give it a this is awesome.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it it was an elite match because I've if you've been a wrestling fan long enough, sometimes you get excited for the Rumble and then there's some dud Rumbles.
Yeah.
So this was actually surprisingly good Rumble and one that kept me guessing pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
And I'd like to mention that I guessed the winner before this match even happened.
Yeah. Yes, Cody Rhodes would be the winner.
Yep.
And man,
all roads lead to WrestleMania.
When Gunther was giving him those chops and his freaking that same pec was starting to turn purple again, I was like, Jesus! Like, I was like, stop slapping his chest! You're gonna fuck it up again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yep, for sure.
And then we had the pitch black match, Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. This was interesting.
It very much was so.
We didn't know really what it was.
Yes, we were like, how are they going to do that? Is everything going to be dark? Like, how are we going to see anything? And then they really stepped it up because it was freaking cool.
Yeah, kind of like it was all black light.
Everything was glow in the dark. It looked like
it looked like
even
my
like
high school
LA
bedroom.
LA Knight's gear was glow in the dark. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then Wyatt's face paint, of course.
Yeah. They basically transformed him as soon as the light changed. His
contacts and everything.
Yeah,
just,
that was awesome.
It worked so good with the black light, and then how they had the ropes.
Yeah,
cool.
I wonder did they change out the ropes were those the same ropes?
I don't know. How would they have done that?
Yeah, I don't think maybe they didn't. Maybe it just had different type of
and then they had the little confetti spots.
Oh yeah, we're they're
the announce table,
LED confetti, basically.
Super cool, super cool.
Yeah, that and then so it was a quick match.
But
it was really to set up that I guess another concept tease of the Wyatt 6.
Yeah,
because you had basically Bray Michael Myers style chase him.
Yeah.
Or Jason style chase him to that little side area where he gave him the mandible claw, and of course Uncle Howdy freaking I don't know if that was the real Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas, who jumped off.
I think only a active in fit wrestler type person could only do a spot like that because that was pretty dang high. And then you had the rest of the Firefly Funhouse, it looks like watching on, kind of cheering it.
So and then you had 4 up top, and of course you had Bray 5, and then you have Uncle Howdy 6. So 6. Maybe that's
and didn't you say he had a 6 on his head or something?
Yeah in the paint he had the Roman numeral 6 on the side of his head. So who knows, maybe cool. Each one of those characters will be revealed to be somebody. But then again, if was one of them maybe already Alexa Bliss, because that is gonna transition us into our next match. But before that, what do you rate this match?
I'm gonna say that this match was over. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 2-2. It was over. The only thing I didn't like about this match is I didn't care for the Mountain Dew logo in the center of the ring the whole time.
They must have given him a big paycheck.
Oh yeah, they definitely that's probably what paid Wyatt and LA Knight for the match. I don't know if we mentioned, but of course Bray Wyatt won.
Yes.
Quick match, but maybe in the beginning for the first minute or something have the Mountain Dew, but after then let it go.
Right.
But like you said, they probably gave him a big paycheck in the press conference after you had Cody drinking the Mountain Dew. Would you say he was like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is the best next thing for after Whataburger. Okay.
Okay, company man. No, but I dig it. That's awesome. So you ready to 2? Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 2. Yes. Also, one thing more to mention is it was good to see Bray Wyatt back in the ring. I know he did have his spot at the live show at MSG, but to be back on TV or.
Yeah. it was worth the wait.
For sure.
For the slow build up that this has been, but it was really good to see him like that, and kind of like a different, because that's another thing we didn't know how he was gonna wrestle again.
Yeah.
If he was, because last time we saw him wrestle, he would only wrestle as the Fiend, so we kind of didn't know. But honestly, I know this was a Mountain Dew style match, but I kind of hope this was a concept for what's maybe his future matches, because of course when he was the Fiend, he would wrestle in the red light, the red light matches, which a lot of people have a problem with. But no, I mean, if this is a cool thing, like have him kind of do this transformation with the paint and the eyes, kind of like Jeff Hardy-esque, but like of course his way darker, that's the only similarity is just the paint. But yeah, I would like to see more of this style of match, honestly.
Yeah, I honestly would, I'm trying to say. It was really cool. Not necessarily, like Pitch Black, but just going along the same concepts. That would be really cool.
Yeah, and like we said, that transitioned us to the Raw Women's title match, Bianca and Alexa Bliss. I mean, honestly, a quick match too. It just, I guess, kind of showcasing more too of Bianca or Alexa kind of stepping up a little bit, but still losing. So maybe she needs the help of somebody else. So that's why we had Uncle Howdy at the end, right?
Uncle Howdy did not come out. No, he came out on the screen.
Oh well, yeah, it was like
basically
a
talking
montage.
to her. Yeah, talking to her through the screen. But I mean, I know a lot of people predicted that Uncle Howdy would come out and help Alexa win the gold, but
no, that
did not happen. So they're still dragging that on.
Yeah. What would you rate it?
I'm gonna rate it a 2.
I rated it 2.
Yeah.
it was pretty over.
Yeah.
But where do you see Bianca going? Well, I guess we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up after the Women's Royal Rumble, which was next. What did you think of the Women's Royal Rumble overall?
My favorite match of the whole night, I would say so.
It was really good. Honestly, I would dare say it was better than the men's. Yeah.
I even thought that too. I thought, is that bad to say? But I'm going to say it. It was, for sure.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Yeah.
I think it was much better than the men's because it had a lot more surprises, definitely. I know that there was kind of a lot of speculations as to who would return. A lot of them were pretty accurate. So we had Asuka come back as her dark self.
Yeah, her like Japanese darker version, like when she was in Japan. Kinda. So yeah, that was honestly, I really like her new. I like the face paint. Look, I love the long tights, the gear, the black. It's freaking awesome.
She looks really cool.
Yeah, a lot of returns. Piper Niven, she no longer Dewdrop.
Yes, I saw her name pop up and I was like, who?
Yeah,
but then you reminded me.
Because you were just saying not too long ago that, like, where is she?
Yeah, where's Dewdrop?
Yeah, exactly. No more Dewdrop. But then, of course, you still had Pat McAfee. Well, we didn't mention that Pat McAfee did come back to commentary. I guess we'll mention it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, like they were kind of the puns, like, oh, like how do you something drop? I can't even name the puns. They had some puns about Mia Yim and somebody else, but anyway,
there's one thing that, since we're talking about Pat McAfee, there's one thing I wanted to add. We should have talked about this in the beginning, but just real quick, when the Rumble first started, I remember saying to you, man, I like how they put Michael Cole and Corey Graves because they're a good team, they work good together. You got one from Raw, one from SmackDown, but then Pat McAfee came out and I was like, oh wait, Corey Graves is just there. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee work way well together. Right. Like, I just love how they bounce off each other and they joke back and forth. And
yeah, they do work well together. I definitely miss Pat McAfee, but sometimes he can be sometimes it's like a little too much. I'm like, dude, like that's the one thing I realized too from him being gone. It's like sometimes he doesn't know when to just like, okay, just
simmer down.
Yeah, let the moment pass for a second.
Right.
But no, yeah, definitely great to have him back.
Yeah.
Along with more surprises like Chelsea Green's return and a quick elimination. Her spot in the Rumble was to have the quickest elimination in the Women's Rumble, but it was definitely good to see her back. Even Matt Cardona put something on Instagram, shouting her out too.
It ended
giving
up
her support because we thought he was going to be in the Men's Rumble, but
why not bring them back together?
Yeah.
But I mean, he is. I think he is currently a free agent, so I don't see why not. Maybe they're still working something out. But
No.
yeah. Chelsea Green's elimination apparently became the quickest in history.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 4 or 5 seconds.
Right. And then we had the Michelle McCool front row crowd. Like,
That
I never
was
really
cool.
seen that. I never
That
seen
was
that
cool.
before. That was pretty cool. The front row crowd, a little return cameo there.
Yes.
She was in last year, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I was even saying she did so good last year that if they don't bring her back this year, like, why? What are you doing? And yeah, it was so cool because when her music started playing, you were like, "Oh, I guess she went to the back," but no, she came from the front row.
Yeah.
She had her daughter there, taking her jacket from her and everything. It was so cool.
That was really cool, and her gear was like half gear, half
she was
like
wearing Uggs.
like lounge. Yeah,
she was freaking wearing Uggs. So cool.
That's
Props to
freaking
her
awesome.
because she still did amazing.
Yeah,
I think if I was watching wrestling way back then, like religiously, like I am now, she'd be my favorite.
Yeah,
because I'm always happy to see her.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the only thing, just when everything was going right in the match, the only thing that it's not really nothing on any performer's part, but I guess that's a producer part, is they botched the number 30 spot.
Yes, your last opportunity, the last buzzer of this year's Royal Rumble, and you mess it up.
Nobody got to count down from
Nobody
10.
did.
Because it's like they basically pressed the wrong button. They meant to press the countdown, but then they pressed the Nia Jax. They're like, oh shit, and then they try to still play the 10, and probably somebody was like getting yelled at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
somebody got fired.
That was a bad botch, but hey, it fits for who the botch is represented. Number 30,
yeah.
Nia Jax has returned.
Yeah, and everybody just like attacked her. I liked that when she got into the ring. She's talking shit. She's like, "Oh yeah," I don't even remember what she was saying, but they all just like ganged up on her and attacked her. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then the match itself had a great finish with Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Asuka.
Yes.
All basically on the apron, and then you had Rhea Ripley kind of trying to do when Asuka was gonna spray the mist. Of course, Rhea Ripley ducked, sprayed the mist to Liv Morgan in the face. Rhea Ripley does a Mortal Kombat style, kick through the ropes.
Yeah.
Kind of twirls through the ropes.
Yeah.
Asuka loses her balance, falls off, and then Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was over there in the corner, all with the mist on her face. But then
Asuka gets knocked off, and then Rhea slips and is literally.
I was gonna say, how does Rhea get to that moment? Did Liv Morgan kind of hit her or something?
No, she hadn't came up to her yet. Liv Morgan was still there. Rhea slips, and her feet are barely off the ground, and she's holding onto the top rope. And so that's when Liv tries to clear herself up because she has the mist all in her face. She's trying to like hit her hands, right, to like knock her feet off. That's when Rhea Ripley brings her feet up,
and
grabs her by the neck,
basically.
and flips her over. Yeah,
the skim to Hurana.
Yeah, yeah. So it was pretty impressive, and definitely another.
Everyone kind of knew and was hoping that it was Rhea Ripley. At the end there, I was kind of like thinking, oh my God, could Liv win it? And I was like, oh my, if Liv wins it, this could be the first women's Rumble where you have someone getting booed because somebody else should have won.
Yes,
literally. Would have been Batista, Roman Reigns all over again.
It was definitely a night of if Rhea doesn't win, we riot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. That would have been a shock if anyone else won.
Yeah.
What would you rate the women's Royal Rumble?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the same as the men's Royal Rumble. They both were elite at a 4, but the women's still slightly better. If we were Dave Meltzer, we would say the men's Royal Rumble was a 4 and the women's Royal Rumble was a 4.2345. Yeah.
Literally, like, just fucking round up the numbers.
Right?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Exactly. And then we had the Hardy performance.
All right, what was next?
That was something.
What was after the Hardy performance?
It's nothing against Hardy, but that's going to be the only potato segment of the night. Was the Hardy performance. Just because we didn't need it. I appreciate it. I had nothing against a great song.
It's cool, I guess.
But we kind of just, it was a long night. We were just kind of like, all right, hurry up.
Yeah. Like, once the Women's Rumble was done, I was already in the mood. Like, okay, main event time. Let's see where this goes. Yeah. And then they're like, Hardy's getting ready for his performance. I'm like...
We were like, what?
I'm going to go take a restroom break.
Yeah. No disrespect to Hardy. I appreciate, as a metal fan and... having a
Yeah,
dad
that-
that's listening to country. I
okay.
am a country fan, so I appreciate the kind of him
Yes.
trying to kind of merge the worlds.
Yes. Okay,
know what I
that's one
mean?
thing I'll say about it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
appreciate
I'll
that.
agree on that.
Yeah. Okay, so then we had the undesired. My notes
Your
auto-corrected.
notes, the
Instead of undisputed, it said undesired. For the undesired championship. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we said earlier, it didn't have to. Or actually, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, we always do this. We always do this at least once in an episode.
What?
But we were gonna talk about how Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. So where do you think she's gonna go?
Oh.
Do you think she's gonna go? Because obviously it's clear Cody, Roman's gonna still have the title by Mania.
Right.
So where's Rhea Ripley gonna go?
She could go either way. To be honest, if the Raw Women's Champion is still Bianca come WrestleMania, and then if Charlotte,
That's what I
is
mean.
still the
Charlotte Rhea
SmackDown.
sounds like a great match.
yes, it
And
definitely
I think they
does.
wrestled before at
Uh,
Mania, didn't they?
oh yeah, they
Yeah.
did recently. Yeah.
So
But I'd like to see it again
yeah, exactly.
for sure.
Because I'm not sure.
Um,
Was that that was the one where they didn't have? Was that the Mania? They didn't have nobody. The pandemic Mania.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that's when Rhea won because
Yeah,
Rhea's been
so
the
they
Raw
gotta
Women's
redo that.
title. Yeah, for sure. She needs to win in front of an audience.
Rhea or Charlotte sounds like a go-to match.
Yep,
Nice.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back to the Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match. I mean, shit. The match was great. I mean, every Roman match is. That's what I mean. I don't want to. I don't know. He has his 5 moves of doom like Cena, but I mean they're just always cool.
Yeah.
I guess the match is just because like all the shit he talks to
Yeah.
when he's wrestling. But honestly, I feel like you didn't even need the match. You honestly you literally could have had Kevin Owens go out there and then they just start attacking him. The
Mhm.
match was great. No disrespect to the match. Great match. But after the match
Yeah.
was
the best part.
was the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it's just, of course. I mean, if you watching this or listening to this, you obviously, know what happened. But
Yeah.
this storyline is gold. I don't even know what to say.
Mhm.
You got to take it over.
I have to take it over. But I feel like you have a lot to say about this. Like you have really enjoyed the storyline since the beginning, and
Yeah.
we have wondered like, okay, when and if could this end?
And yeah.
And it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, because of course you had Sammy kind of contemplating everything, the whole
Mhm.
match and after the match, and then the beatdown starts on Kevin Owens. They typical handcuff Kevin Owens onto the ropes. They're freaking just this first. It was bad enough with the super kicks. First of all, it was bad enough when Roman was slamming Kevin Owens' head on the steps.
Oh,
I
yes,
was like
that was
literally
the most brutal part.
yes, as somebody who's busted and had to get staples on top of my head
Mhm.
twice, those slots or the corners in the steps could have
Yeah.
easily just busted his head open.
I was fully prepared that when he's holding the back of his head for him to let go, and
Mhm.
I was gonna see blood on his
Yeah,
hand.
I was like, Jesus.
But I'm surprised it didn't.
And then if that wasn't bad enough, the freaking 100 super kicks that the Usos gave Kevin Owens when he was tied to the ropes,
Yeah.
and I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was coming. I knew that. Well, first of all, I knew it was coming. That I didn't know it was coming. That Sammy was gonna stop Roman Reigns from hitting Kevin Owens with the chair, but I
Yeah.
did know it was coming when Kevin Owens was like, "No, you're gonna do it."
When Roman was going to.
Or I'm sorry, when Roman
Yeah.
was handed the chair
yeah.
to
He's
Sammy.
like, yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna do it. You
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Or you're done.
Yeah. You're done. But yeah, so obviously, how it started was, of course, Jay wanting to give like the flower lay to
Oh yeah.
to Sammy,
Yeah,
and then
skip that over.
Roman was kind of like no, he has to prove himself
Yeah,
type,
one more time.
Yeah, exactly.
And this would have been it if freaking
Yep.
War Games wasn't good enough.
Literally.
So yeah, and shades of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns has had. You gotta watch his back.
Yeah.
He's got hit with the chair in the back twice. First, Seth Rollins, and then
Mhm.
Sami Zayn. So wow, when that pop, whenever Sammy hit Roman with the chair, that was
Yeah.
just everyone
everyone
it's
wanted
happening.
him to do
It's
it.
happening, people.
Yeah, everyone wanted him to do it. Like they
Mhm.
were.
And there was moments before it happened where Roman was kind of turning back, and everyone was like, "Oh," like everyone was like waiting, and then they kind of
Yeah.
like that. I don't know if that's a Triple H thing either, or two, or him talking to his producers or
Yeah.
agents, that are helping out in this process too. I'm sorry, it's been a
Right.
long night. I'm coffeeed up, a little sauced up. But the teases, all the teases.
Right.
You all right?
Yeah.
What you got going on over there? Well, I can wait for you to pick your boogers.
I'm not picking my boogers.
But anyway, I love all the teases. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say, people. All right? Been stuttering my way through this whole episode.
And I think the best part of something like when this happens is you think like, what's gonna happen next? So that's why everyone tunes into the Raw and SmackDown afterwards, because I'm wondering like, and then the thing with Jay, like Jay didn't want to, after Sammy did what he did, you had Jimmy attacking him, you had Solo doing his move on him, and then Jay's like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna step back, I'm not doing this. And so Roman gets upset, and then Jay walks away practically in tears, it looked like. So
and then it ends with the rest of the bloodline walking away, and Sammy and Kevin Owens just laid to waste in the middle of the ring.
Roman literally ripped the shirt off his back.
Yep, the Sammy shirt.
And then I kind of like how he was sprinkling the flowers. That was a nice touch.
Throwing the flowers on him, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, honestly.
Like, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
This rating, before you give your rating, I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
This gets a brass ring. Not even. I mean, like I said, the match itself, you could have. As far as I'm concerned, no disrespect.
Yeah.
You didn't need to have the match.
Right.
Just the ending itself gets a brass ring, but you'd be talking about the ending plus the match. Oh yeah, definitely getting a brass ring.
Right.
This whole storyline that was basically out of just brought up out of thin air.
Yeah.
Gets a brass ring. What got going on there? No battery.
Yeah, no battery.
All right, gonna finish this up here.
I'm gonna give it a brass ring too.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
Our first and only brass ring of the night.
And then The Rock, the only thing to have to end on is The Rock disappoints again.
Yeah.
No Rock to be found. No Rock to be found.
No Rock to be found.
No Rocky to be found. Of course, he's always too busy for the dub.
With his movies.
Yeah, and it's like how I like that's why I don't even want to watch freaking that Young Rock show, because it's like it's like a
he couldn't come on and like promote Young Rock.
Yeah, but it's like you're literally making a show about how you got your start, and like how's that show gonna end? Like, oh, now I do my own thing and I don't even give them the time of day.
Like, oh, I'm not even wrestling anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even. They asked me to come back, and the fans want me to come back all the time, but guess what? I'm too busy.
And I'm sorry, but
Suck it, Rocky. No, just kidding.
I'm sorry, but that story or article that I read, that if it's even true or not, but I read it and it was on 434 on the Facebook, is that apparently The Rock says that he's not ring ready.
The Rock says, no pun intended.
What? What did I say?
The Rock says, that's his catchphrase.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just talking and I didn't even realize that.
No, I'm a wrestling fan over here.
Can you stop? That apparently he's not in ring shape, according to himself, so I don't know. I think that's a lie.
He's not in ring shape? What the fuck?
That's what he said. He's not ready to be in the ring.
Oh my god, he's not in ring shape.
Yeah. I don't believe that.
I mean, he's working out every day. I'm trying to think of
I thought
like
for 10 hours a day.
I'll think of it in like an hour, but I'm trying to think of like something to compare that to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you'll remember in an hour.
I'll think of something in an hour. Like how The Rock saying he's not in ring shape.
Exactly. Like what a lie.
Yeah.
Why the fuck you lying?
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Are we gonna rate the whole pay-per-view as a whole?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I want to.
What would you rate it?
This was an elite pay-per-view.
It was. No pun
elite.
intended.
Yeah.
It was an elite pay-per-view.
Yes.
It was good. It was good.
Definitely.
Yeah, but showcasing, we don't need your legends. We don't need your Rock. We appreciate you, what you do, but we need it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to end on.
I don't know either.
Yeah, we hope you all enjoyed the pay-per-view, everyone. And yeah, if you enjoyed it or what you thought, just give your thoughts. If you're listening to this song, we appreciate you. Hit like and give your thoughts below in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Take us out.
You always leave it up to me.
I normally do that on our other episode.
Yeah,
or on
you
our other
do.
podcast.
And
Gosh, man, what is wrong with me today?
our other episode.
I'm just always constantly jumping on my. We always do these late, and I'm always
I know we do.
sauced up. Well, not always, but when we do these, I like to be a little sauced up.
Yeah.
Maybe over time, I'll like master it. I'll master being sauced and normal, like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
I'll be Jimmy Fallon. Let's go. Be the wrestling Jimmy Fallon.
The
Just be obliterated doing these podcasts. Like, hey.
So bad. I think I'm gonna end off this podcast by saying we the ones.